Chandra, that call was recorded. You had absolutely
I don't
no
care.
reason. I asked if your driver was retarded because he left my packages outside of a locked mini storage. He left my mini storage unlocked and has cost me several $1,000s. You have absolutely no reason to speak to me.
Every time you call, you're hateful. You call my girl, you're hateful to her. You sit there and make comments about my drivers. We cannot make you happy. You're always talking about how bad we are, how bad our drivers are. You never have anything good to say, and it's just a constant with you.
Chandra, do you think that I want negative things to say?
Man, we bring your freight to your place. We're not going to do that.
Okay.
You're too far out.
Is it too much to ask?
I told you that.
Is it too much to ask that you put it inside the locked mini storage that I rented for your convenience? Is that really too much to ask? Do you think that do you think if my freight, Chandra?
My girl is nice to everybody, but I don't appreciate when somebody like you calls and you're nothing but hateful to her.
Okay, she called me, and I was not hateful. The call was recorded. I record every call. I just simply, I elaborated on every problem that I've had and about how much money it has cost me. I never raised my voice. I was not shitty.
I don't believe that. Okay. I know how you talk to me.
Chandra, do you disagree that the problems I've had with the freight have cost me several $1,000s?
No, I don't agree with that. And I also, you know what?
How do you not?
No matter how mad I get, Tony, I would never call and say, "Are you retarded?
Well,
are your people retarded?"
Hey,
I would never say that.
Hey,
that is
if anybody at my shop leaves several $1,000s in parts and doesn't lock anything back, or if they take parts and throw them outside of a locked storage,
that's what you have. Say. My drivers say that's not true. They say they lock it all up. So that's what you say. And you're the only one that tells me all the time how much money you've lost. I don't have a problem with this driver with any of my other customers.
You know what's weird is I never had a problem with Jesse or the guy before that. Isn't that weird?
I've heard that before too. And I've heard, Jim is my husband, which I'm sure you know.
I didn't know that. That explains why you treat me like you are. Okay.
No, but you've done nothing but talk about him like he's nothing.
Jim was super rude to me. Even Jesse tried to explain to him.
To me and everybody else. I'm going to talk to Jim, and you may be finding somebody else to deliver your freight.
Well, I will absolutely. If you're not going to deliver my freight, I recorded both the calls and I've documented every problem that I've had. So if you're going to tortuously interfere with my business and hinder me from making a profit, then I don't know what legal repercussions have come of that, because all I've ever asked you to do.
Because I've got emails and everything else from you.
Okay,
there's nothing legal you can do. I haven't signed a contract with you to deliver your freight.
So are the terms with
through all my drivers and Jim and my girl in the office and me how rude you are to us all the time.
Do you think if my freight was in there I'd ever be rude, or you'd ever have a problem with me?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, so you think that I would just be...
Yes.
Well, why don't we try that? Why don't we try giving me my freight without any problems and see if you have a problem?
I do not believe for 1 second that your freight has walked off. I do not believe that.
So I'm a liar? I'm a liar? Why don't you call the people that own the mini storage? They're the ones that called me both times. It's documented. They called me and told me you left it unlocked and the door was open. They also called me and told me that the parts were left outside there. That's the lady that owns the mini storage. That is the truth. And call her. Call the people that own the mini storage.
I'm not calling her because I don't know if you know her or not.
So you think do you think that me and her are conspiring against you? That's what you're trying to tell me?
Okay, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Well, what are you saying? You don't think that maybe it's your driver?
I think that you say this stuff because you want us to deliver to your place. And that's why you keep coming back with that.
No.
That's why you keep complaining. That's why you keep saying my drivers are messing up.
So what if I can prove to you what if I can prove to you that everything that I've said is true?
I'm not going to listen to somebody you tell me to call.
So
I'm not calling anybody because I don't know who those people are.
So what if I can get video footage? What if I can get some video footage if they still have it? Will you write me out a giant apology and deliver it to my shop?
No, I'm not going to. Are you going to write out an apology for saying that my driver must be retarded?
Okay. I apologize for saying your driver must be retarded. It's under my assumption that anybody that you might give that position to would understand that they need to place the packages inside the locked facility and lock it back. Is that crazy for me to assume that?
No, but you say it's happened more than once. You know what? Mistakes do happen. And when our guys do that, I am on their butt like you would not believe, because it does happen.
Why would I
But
want to
he
make
doesn't do it
problems up?
again
Why would I
and
want to?
again and again? I don't believe that.
So you don't
He's already
believe that
been
you're,
in trouble. Why is he going to do it again?
ma'am?
They don't want to deal. They don't want to deal with me, and they don't want to deal with Jim.
Okay, but why would I make it up?
Okay, next time. Well,
Why-
I mean, from now on, when my driver, if we continue to do this, I'm making him take pictures every time he leaves your spot.
Okay, that's great. That's a standard operating procedure that maybe you should implement so that you know that your driver's not having a problem. But the way that you're talking to me and blaming me and saying that I'm lying, I don't understand how you can even do that. I can understand maybe you're a little stressed.
I'm saying, did it maybe happen once? It may have. I got onto him. I can't see it happening again
Well,
and
I don't,
again and again.
ma'am, I mean this super respectfully. I don't care if you can believe it or not because it happened and it's true. There is no benefit to me in delaying my parts and me having to pay rental or me having to pay for parts that were stolen or me having to pay for parts that your driver threw in front of the damn storage, okay? There's no benefit to me in any of this. The only benefit to this was in you and me renting the storage so that you didn't have to deliver out to my shop, okay? That was a benefit. I did that for your convenience. Since then, I've made several dry runs. There's no consistency in anything. Something can get sent from the dealer, and I might get it 3 days later. I might get it a week later. I might not get it at all. And then if I say something about it, well, obviously, you're going to get an attitude about it and call me a liar. Like,
No, because you've had an attitude with me.
well, obviously, I have an attitude because you're costing me money. Do you understand that?
Well, you don't know that everything, when they say it goes out, that doesn't necessarily mean it always goes out. And sometimes things get on back order, so that's something, you need to call us and check on.
Every problem I've talked to you about has been a problem with your driver's performance. That's the truth of it.
I'm sure it has. I just find it hard to believe because I don't have any other issues like this with the same.
Do you have any other shops that you require to rent a mini storage and have locks on it?
That is for, you know what, we don't go, I mean, I know you have a hard time understanding this. We don't go past a certain area.
Okay,
so
but do you have...
For you to pay for that mini storage is not a benefit for me.
Okay.
It's a benefit for you to get your part.
Why didn't I have to do that for 18 years?
I don't know.
Well, because Jim drove the road one time and said he wouldn't do it no more after years. Not even, like a decade, okay? Like a decade.
Well, because obviously sometimes these drivers don't know, if they're supposed to go out in the country
What are the
how far out.
perimeters that you deliver to? Like, what is the area that you deliver to, and how am I outside of it? I don't understand that. Nobody has ever elaborated on that. What areas? If I moved?
You're out.
Okay, but where does it say that at? And when did it change?
You can talk to the dealerships. The dealerships know, I mean, we have to, are we going to go? We don't deliver to homes. We don't go out on country roads.
It's not a country road. There's Cedar
Is
Crest.
it a home?
Okay, my house is close. I own a whole area out here. So because my house is close to my shop, it excludes delivery?
And it's out in the country, right? Because that's what I was told also, not by Jim, but that's what I was told by the driver.
Define the country.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. I really don't know what you're talking about because LKQ delivers, Copart comes here, IAA comes here, O'Reilly's that comes here, AutoZone comes here, UPS comes here, FedEx comes here. I had a dozer delivered here. Every record company in the metro area delivers here. What is so special about Jim? I'm not trying to be rude. I don't understand
Yes,
it.
you are.
Okay, what is it?
To Jim to see if we are going to continue service.
Okay, so now you're not going to continue service because I'm not going to be grateful for my stuff not coming? What reason would you have not to deliver to me?
Because the way you talk about my drivers, the way you talk about Jim, the way you...
What have I ever said about Jim except he's been rude to me? What have I ever said?
No, I've got emails after emails.
What did I say?
That all you've done is put him down, and I've just tried ignoring it because you're a customer. But there comes a point to when, and I could have just kept ignoring it when it comes to Jim, But when you talk about my drivers,
Ma'am, if your driver
about
put the
your-
parts in my
my
locker, you
girl
would
in my
never hear.
office.
If my parts were delivered with any kind of consistency, you would never even know me. And that's the truth. But the only reason that we have what we have right now and this anger that you have towards me is because I'm frustrated because I'm not getting my freight. Do you understand that? I'm not frustrated because Jim's who Jim is. I'm not frustrated because you are who you are. I'm frustrated because your drivers are not consistently delivering my freight. The only time you hear from me is when I don't get my freight. Is that wrong?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Do you have a combination that you want to give me? Because I don't want to keep arguing over this. It's not getting either one of us anywhere.
Did I not give it to you several times already?
Okay, do you want to give it to me
Okay,
again or not?
But,
I mean, that's
but,
up to you.
but did I not give it to you and Jim and the driver several times already?
Okay, are you going to give
Okay,
it to
here's
me
how
again?
you're going to remember it. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay? 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. All right? That's the combination. I put a combination lock on there because I didn't think your driver could screw it up. All right? He was having problems with the locks, right? You remember that? Do you remember?